This video is in continuation of the part 3 online study of your paper Knowledge and Curriculum B.Ed second year. We will come across today in this class about the contribution of teachers in assimilation and dissemination of information and knowledge. Assimilation is a cognitive process that manages how we take new information and incorporate that new information into our existing knowledge. This concept was developed by a Swiss developmental psychologist. Let's discuss the role of a teacher in knowledge construction. Firstly and most importantly, the main role of a teacher is the transmission of knowledge. This is the traditional view of education that some students may remember from their own school days. The emphasis is given by basic and essential skills, but social skills are not given emphasis. The focus is on logical, objective, and abstract learning. This is objective learning because the learner's role is distinct from that of the teacher. Children and young people are assessed by their teacher according to their ability or intelligence. Secondly, teachers construct knowledge. This approach draws out knowledge and understanding. The learner is supported in actively constructing his or her store of knowledge through activities such as discovery learning and open-ended questioning. Examples of this approach include formative assessment or conducting a research or investigative activities. The third role of a teacher can be co-construction. This expands on the construction of knowledge approach but shifts the focus from the individual to collaboration with others in building knowledge. Learners work together to investigate, analyze, interpret, and reorganize their knowledge. Examples of this approach are problem solving in groups or dialogue among learners and between the teacher and learners that focuses on learning. The next topic we are going to study is pretty interesting. Knowledge under construction. Constructivism is a view of learning based on the belief that adolescents adjust prior knowledge or mental models to accommodate new experiences as the brain actively seeks connections with what is already known and makes meaning. Perkins describes constructivism as a philosophy that promotes thoughtful learning in the classroom. According to him, A, knowledge and understanding are actively acquired. Secondly, knowledge and understanding are socially constructed in dialogue with others. And thirdly, knowledge and understanding are created and recreated. Adolescents are unlikely to develop understanding with one example or one experiment. Let's discuss the role of teachers in knowledge construction next. According to Parker J. Palmer, good teachers join self, subject, and students in the fabric of life because they teach from an integral and undivided self. They manifest in their own lives and evoke in their students a capacity for connectedness. David Johnson has identified 3 major roles for facilitators to support students in constructivist learning environment. These 3 are, first one, modeling, which is of 2 types: behavior modeling, which is of the overt performance, while cognitive modeling is of the covert cognitive processes. Cognitive modeling articulates the reasoning that learners should use while engaged in activities, while behavior modeling is in constructivist learning environment demonstrate how to perform the activities identified in the activity structure. The second one is coaching. Johnson acknowledges that a good coach motivates learners, analyzes their performance, provides feedback and advice on the performance and how to learn about how to perform, and provokes reflection and articulation of what was learned. The third and the last point is scaffolding. It is a more systematic approach to supporting the learner, focusing on the task, the environment, the teacher, and the learner. Let's discuss dialogues next. Freire has defined dialogue as the situation in which both students and teachers exchange roles and learn from and with each other. Peter McLaren considered that the absence of a dialogic conversation revolving around power and authority during science instruction must incite teachers to question their own schooling practices, including how they engage their students in the intellectual task of reading, writing, speaking, using and producing science. In other words, becoming science literate. Through dialogues, we explore the complexity of thoughts and language. We highlight how arbitrary our thoughts and perceptions are, and we become aware of our own bias towards thinking. Generally, critical dialogue stems from exposure to transformative academic knowledge and materializes in the form of conversation, often sparked or extended by an educator that openly challenges the official versions of what students ought to know. Dialogues can be interactive or non interactive. The factors involved in dialogic instruction include classroom environment, which promotes collectively engaging in learning tasks together. Secondly, classroom environment is reciprocal with all listening to each other and considering alternative viewpoints. Ideas are articulated. Dialogic instruction is cumulative and collective. Dialogical interactions involve fewer teacher questions and more conversational turns. The teacher's voice is one of many voices, though likely a critically important one. And classroom environment is unpredictable because it is negotiated as teachers and students pick up on, elaborate, and question what students have to say. Contact us for any queries.